Welcome back. I'm Wyatt Goolsby in for Lauren Ashburn. General John Kelly is now on day 3 in his new position as White House Chief of Staff. With all the staff shakeups on Pennsylvania Avenue, our next guest will help us break down all the news. Melissa Quinn is a reporter for the Washington Examiner. So Melissa, working at the White House seems to be like a revolving door. People are in and out. What can you expect with General John Kelly now in charge as the White House Chief of Staff?
Well, I think what a lot of people are hoping General Kelly will do is he'll bring some much needed discipline and order to the West Wing. Obviously, we've seen, like you said, a rotation of characters coming in and out. We've seen a number of power centers that are currently operating in the West Wing. And I think the goal for General Kelly, and also the hope for his success, is that he takes those power centers, condenses it into one to where all White House staff, aides, and advisors, if they want to talk to the president, if they want to propose some policy to the president, they have to go through him.
That's going to be a big challenge for any person, much less John Kelly. As we reported earlier, the president has signed a congressional bill that sanctions Russia, Iran, North Korea, but the president says he hasn't been too keen on this bill. Do you think that this will send a message to the world, or sends a message to the world that that president's not fully in sync with Congress on these issues?
I think so. He came out with his signing statement just minutes after he went ahead and signed that legislation, which I think is important to note, that where we've seen President Trump come out with sort of these big ceremonies filled with the media and cameras, a lot of fanfare, President Trump signed this Russia sanctions bill relatively quietly and behind closed doors. But in his statement this morning about why he ultimately did decide to sign the Russia sanctions bill, he said that it was deeply flawed. He said that there were constitutional issues with it, and certainly seemed to signal that he, although it did earn his signature, was not pleased with the legislation. But I think the important thing to remember here is that this bill passed overwhelmingly in both the House and the Senate. Even if President Trump did veto the plan, there was a very good chance that that veto was going to be overridden by Congress. So ultimately, it seemed like he wanted to send a signal to Russia, Iran, and North Korea that he was taking a hard line, but he's not entirely pleased with the contents of that bill.
Okay, let's turn to immigration. At the White House, of course, today the president is backing this bill that would create an immigration system based more on skills as opposed to family ties. It hasn't yet picked up a lot of traction in the Senate. Do you think it has a chance?
Well, the Senate is going to be a very big animal, not only for this bill, but any other significant piece of legislation, particularly one that has the president's backing. The bill obviously has the backing of President Trump, Senators Perdue and Senators Cotton, who are the co-sponsors and introduced the bill, a different version of the bill earlier this year, but already it is facing some opposition, not only from some Senate Democrats, but also from Senate Republicans. Lindsey Graham came out just earlier today, said he disagreed with the bill. We have to remember that Republicans hold 52 seats. They need 60 votes to break that legislative filibuster. So they have to somehow convince at least 8 Democrats to come onto their side. And that's a really tall task.
Absolutely. Tall task for the Republican Party. Melissa Quinn, reporter for the Washington Examiner. Thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you.